A single developer just reconstructed a 24-hour, four-dimensional replay of a real military operation called Operation Epic Fury, including the Iran strikes, using nothing but publicly available signals and an AI agent swarm. No defense contracts, no classified access, no million-dollar visualization budget. Just open-source intelligence, API credits, and a laptop. This is the kind of capability that 5 years ago would have required an entire intelligence agency. The architecture behind this reconstruction wasn't magic. It was a swarm of AI agents working in parallel, harvesting open-source intelligence across flight trackers, satellite imagery feeds, social media geotags, and signals data before those caches expired or were scrubbed. Think of it like hundreds of research assistants racing against a digital clock, piecing together a mosaic that no single human could assemble in time. The result was a god's eye view of a geopolitical event, assembled in hours rather than weeks. For decades, information asymmetry was the bedrock of geopolitical power. Governments and militaries spent billions of dollars and decades of institutional effort to be the only actors capable of seeing the full operational picture. That advantage justified entire intelligence bureaucracies, the NSA, GCHQ, Five Eyes, whose core value proposition was exclusive visibility. What we are witnessing now is the quiet erosion of that monopoly, not through espionage or leaks, but through the commoditization of the very tools that made that visibility possible. Historically, capability compression, the process by which powerful technologies trickle down from institutions to individuals, took decades. The mainframe became the PC over 30 years. Military GPS became consumer navigation over 20. But AI is collapsing that timeline dramatically, delivering institutional-grade analytical power to individual engineers in months rather than generations. What makes this moment uniquely dangerous and uniquely important is the velocity. Society's ethical frameworks, legal structures, and governance models were never designed to adapt this fast. Here's the uncomfortable truth for AI engineers specifically. The techniques used in this reconstruction, agent swarms, parallel data collection, spatial and temporal reasoning, are patterns that most experienced engineers have already deployed in far more mundane contexts, like competitive research tools or news aggregators. The architectural distance between building a helpful research assistant and building geopolitical surveillance infrastructure is measured not in technical complexity, but in intent, data sources, and scale. That proximity deserves serious professional reflection, not dismissal. The author makes a critical distinction. This is not an argument against building powerful tools. It is an argument for building with clear eyes about what you are actually creating. Second and third order effects in geopolitics and national security are notoriously difficult to predict. A reconstruction tool built for journalism could be repurposed for targeting. A transparency tool could become an adversarial intelligence asset. The problem is not that these tools exist. The problem is that the community doing the most sophisticated thinking about consequences is significantly smaller than the community doing the shipping. Perhaps the most destabilizing implication of this story is the democratization of state-level analytical power to non-state actors. A motivated engineer with the right architecture, sufficient API credits, and an understanding of open-source data ecosystems can now reconstruct operational intelligence that would previously have required a full intelligence apparatus with classified access. This changes the threat calculus for every institution that assumed its informational advantage was structural and durable. It is neither. The barrier to entry has been obliterated. The question worth sitting with is not whether tools like this should exist. That debate is already settled by the fact that they do. The real question is whether the people building the next generation of agent swarms, OSINT pipelines, and spatial reconstruction systems are investing equivalent energy into anticipating how those tools will be used, misused, and weaponized. Capability compression is accelerating. Governance, ethics, and institutional adaptation are not keeping pace. The engineers who recognize that gap and take it seriously may be the most important people in the room right now.